Hey, great morning to you all. I hope that you've all woken up grateful for your day. And I hope that you've all set a high vibe. And I hope you've reminded yourself of all of the things that you have to be grateful for. And I hope when you're seeing a limit, you're getting creative. And when you see an obstacle, you're taking the time to learn. And I hope when you're seeing a setback, you're reassessing. Okay? And even redirecting your energies. This morning I want to talk about giving allowance to everything and anything in your life. For a very long time, I believed that I had to block certain things and avoid certain things. And that's how I governed my life. But you don't have to. Okay? I want you guys today to give the allowance to everything and anything in your life to happen. All right? Remove the threat, remove the fear of anything. Remove the fear of not being loved. Remove the fear of being judged. Remove the fear of being shamed, blamed, guilted, or denied of anything. All right? Give the allowance for everything and anything to happen in your day and in your life for learning. What do I mean by that exactly? Well, allow interactions. Allow situations, and allow circumstances to be what they are. But seek the learning. And if there's something in all of that that just doesn't make you feel right, find a soulful solution. What do I mean by a soulful solution? I mean something that makes you feel good inside. I encourage you all to stay out of your minds and your thoughts of what you think about everything that's happening to you and your life. All right? Give allowance to everything to be what it is. Don't sit there and blame and shame yourself, telling yourself, well, it could have been like this, or it should have been like this, or no, don't do that to yourself and don't do that to others. All right? I want you guys to put yourselves first. But be allowing to learning. So, why do things happen in our lives? Why do we have interactions? Why are we in situations? Why do we deal with circumstances? It's all for learning. So when you understand that it's all for learning, well, then you can give the allowance to certain things without restriction and without resistance. Because when you're putting all that restriction and resistance into your life, well, a lot of energy is going there. But why are you restricting and resisting learning? People and places and circumstances and situations come into our lives to make us learn about ourselves. Because everybody's connected. Okay. No. You're sourced by an unconditional love that loves you no matter what. So, as long as you're feeling any kind of negativity within your being, you're working against your own self. So, I'll encourage you all guys today, be unconditionally loving to yourself primarily. Why? Because you matter more than anybody next to you does. If you're not okay, hey, that's what needs to be fixed. All right? How do you do that? You unconditionally love yourself no matter what. We've all made bad choices. But if it's for learning, it removes the bad choice making. Hey, morning, Paris. Love you, girl. I'm not staying out here too long. Today I've got quite a bit of things to do, but I had to come out here and spread some love. Trying to encourage everybody to allow everything and anything in their life. Don't restrict it. Don't resist it. Allow it because it's for learning. And once we apply it that everything is for learning, well, it removes the threat of anything, right? So, that's what needs to happen. Everybody lives in fear, you know? Fear of, oh, what's going to happen? Oh, fear of the unknown. Oh, fear of how that person's going to react. Oh, fear, what's going to happen if I don't do this? Or what's going to happen if I... Nah, Don't do any of that. Get up every day, know you're a brand new person. So today, what you want may be totally different than what you accepted for yourself yesterday. People, I want you to understand that too. You could wake up today, and with all the learning you've acquired, up all of a sudden, hey, how you've been dressing yourself all this time no longer fits for you. And you'll change your style. Don't be surprised by that. Hey, one day you might wake up and look at the person that you've been giving your time and effort to and say, hey, this no longer fits me either. And that's okay. And you can wake up one day and walk into work and say, hey, you know what? Today's my last day here. And that's okay too. Everything is for learning. So when you remove the fear about everything that's going to happen in a result of what's going on, hey, just give the allowance of everything and anything. Seek the learning. Hey, big head, you're going nuts over here while I'm doing the live. You relax, okay? My dog is just going nuts behind me. She's rolling and trying to get in on the live. She's having a great time behind me. But seriously. And we think that we have to restrict things and stay away from this energies and that energies. And when you realize what energy you are and what you're made up of, it's a head-on attitude. Bring it on. Everything's for learning. And if I'm not going to get the learning out of it, well, the other person definitely will. So bring it on, no matter what it is. I want you guys to remove the fear of anything. Remove the restrictions that you have for yourself and remove all the resistance that you have in your life to things. Why? Because there's a lot of energy going into blocking that stuff that you could be using for other things. There's an allowance you have to have in your life to let everything happen freely. No matter what it is. But when you seek the learning and you really, really take the time to look for the learning in everything, there is nothing that's a threat. It then becomes an adventure. Okay? And it's then when you can sit back and say, oh, okay. Now I've looked for learning. Okay, so there are people that will fall to the side with your learning that will no longer fit your ways anymore or your understandings anymore. As you level up, there's nothing wrong with the people that you leave behind. You've just changed. That's all. Allow that. It's not about, oh, they're no longer good for my life, or no, they're no longer. No, it's about you've learned and they have served their purpose. That's how you got to see things. When somebody comes into my life and I'm very aware of it and I'm very aware of their presence, well, there is learning to be acquired. But once that learning is acquired, oh, the universe goes, okay, gone. Next. Redirection. Focus here now. Every person that I come in contact with, any interaction that I have, any situation I'm in, any circumstance, whatever, is all for learning. Now, if I don't allow things to happen, well, then I'm stunting my own growth. Seriously. In any shape, way, or form. And because I'm a light worker and my job is to absorb it all, transmute it all, in other words, change it and pump it back out as love. That's what I'm built to do. So why would I not allow every interaction that's meant to be and every circumstance that's meant to be? I have to have a head-on attitude. Bring it on. I have to carry an allowance in my life to let everything and anything happen. And I own that proudly. Now, I'm not expecting anybody else to be able to do what I do, but If you tap into your own power, you can do the same thing should you choose to. Don't resist or block anything in your life. Make simple choices to look for learning, because the universe has put every interaction, person, place, situation, scenario, circumstance in your life for a reason. And no, it's not a problem. The universe is always working in your favor. So all of the shitty things that we have to live, they're only shitty if we think they're shitty. Okay? Understand that. Once you change your mindset, have the allowance for the learning. No matter how difficult it may be for you to endure, understand the level of difficulty, magnitude within your being is what you are commanding to be. I know personally, I tell myself, no matter how hard the situation may be, I can get through anything. And should I tap into my truest power, all the answers are there. So there are no problems at all. But yes, I look for learning. And I give an allowance to everything and anything in my life. And I had mentioned it before. I extend a string energetically to every single person, place, situation, anything in my life. And I always give the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because I show love. So now what? People choose to do that with that? That's their business. I don't judge. I don't shame. I don't blame. I allow people to make choices for themselves in their life because it is for learning. And I can't steer another's learning. But I will extend a connection. But that's as much as I do. Why? Because then it is up to the person to either stay connected or to hang themselves with that. Simple. I don't wish either or. I know what I bring to table. I love myself unconditionally to know what I have to do here on this planet. And to be true to myself first. So I will love every single person as I love myself. But if they can't handle that, that's not my problem. I will allow everything and anything to be in my life. Why? Because it is for learning. What is the learning? So that I can figure out how to be the best person that I can be for me on this planet during my experience. And that is the only reason. Now, why is that? Because there are people and generations that are going to follow me and who are going to model my behavior. So I have to show them that I can get through anything. And I will seek the logic and the learning of any situation. And I can show them that everything and anything is possible. But I have to show them that staying true to yourself first is the key. So how do I show them that? I do that. I don't have to get up every morning and question who I am or what I am on this planet. But I am love and light first before I am Tobi. So I have an allowance that I must give to everything and anything in my life. It doesn't matter how dark any situation is. The love and light I bring to it removes the darkness. I know that. Yes, Paris? Cheers to that. So bring it on. I don't care how dark it is. I am a universal warrior who has walked and endured and made it through the darkest of roads. Had I known my own love and light during that all, it would have illuminated a lot for me. But now I know. Bring it on. Allow anything to happen in your life. Own your love and light of your being. Be loving to yourself primarily and to every single person that you ever interact with. Why? Because that's on you. And if you cannot be a loving being, you better question that to yourself. Ask yourself those questions because your soul will tell you. Oh, yes, it will. And by the way, your soul knows every single thing that your human part of you has to heal in order to tap into its truest power. Ask it. But can you quiet your mind enough to hear the response? Or do you get scared in silence? Allow everything and anything. Don't be afraid of anything. Don't be afraid of how another's going to look at you. Don't be afraid of how any result is going to turn out. Don't be afraid of anything. The universe is always working in our favor. But how are you using your energies? You better take a look at that. Because if you're feeding yourself foolish thoughts while you're creating foolish feelings, terrible, terrible feelings, tell yourself you're okay. Yes, always. But you can, if you sit and you seriously are silent when somebody is speaking their truth to you, oh boy. But you see, this is what happens. You have to train your brain because as long as your mouth is moving, your ears are not listening. So, people, they talk so much crap about themselves, they don't even hear it. Speak highly of yourselves all the time. Tell yourself that you are okay, no matter what. Allow everything and anything for learning. Why? Because you matter the most in your experience. Doesn't matter what your mother did. Doesn't matter what your father did. Doesn't matter what your grandparents did. And it certainly doesn't matter what anybody else did. What matters is what you're doing to yourself and to everybody attached. So be the loving person that you are initially made of. Simple. Hey, get it right. Get it right for yourself and get it right for everybody that matters in your life. We think we got to block this and block that and block that. No. I can't do my job properly on this earth if I sit here blocking anything. It's called level up. And man, did I have to do some excruciating learning to understand that. And what I have to absorb and transform is beyond, hey, but I'll do it. But listen. Listen to what people are telling you. Because they will tell you. And don't make excuses for that. And don't sit there listening to half of it with a response on the edge of your seat, which you're blocking out all the rest of what they're saying. Listen to hear what they are telling you. Don't listen to respond. Catch yourself with that too. Every time somebody's telling you something, are you sitting there just waiting to respond and then you're not hearing what they're saying? Or are you genuinely sitting there listening to what is being said to you from another person? Seriously. You got to catch yourself. but have the allowance for the learning, because only you have these answers, and you're going to put on 50,000 different masks to hide everything about your being, because you think, oh, you got to act this way to be accepted there, and you got to act this way to be loved here, and you got to show this way to be loved. Screw all that. Because I'll tell you something, there's nothing on this planet that can love me the way that my soul and this energy of the universe loves me. Straight up. It's impossible. Because that's what's giving me life on this planet initially. Nothing loves me more than that. Hey, morning, Kelly. Have a great day. Lots of love, ladies. So why would I seek any other type of, fulfillment or anything from anything external? What's fueling me loves me more than anything human. And I own that. And I allow everything and anything to happen in my life, because I have a job to do on this planet. That doesn't make me any better than any single person on this planet, but it does make me matter just as much as anybody. But if I can't believe that about myself, I can't believe that about anybody, right? This is why I encourage you all to put yourselves first, no matter what. And that the energy and the fuel that's giving you life here today, for your brand new day, for your gift of life experience, loves you no matter what. Doesn't matter what you do for a living, doesn't matter about your bank account balance, doesn't matter about who you have in your life, doesn't matter what kind of person you choose to be. You are loved unconditionally. So what you accept for yourself from that point on is on you. But can you work in alignment with your true power? And that's unconditional love. Because if you can't, you better get it right. You got to unconditionally love yourself and unconditionally love everybody else, because we are all connected and we are all one. And the only thing that makes us unique in this planet is our free will and what we believe about our unique selves. Take a look at what you believe about yourself. Take a look at what you allow. But have an allowance for everything. Don't resist, restrict, turn yourself away from anything. Everything is an experience, and if you restrict or resist an opportunity for learning, you're the one that's losing out. And if you're sitting there saying, well, this person's negative and that situation, that, well, guess what? You're sitting in judgment. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to another. Yeah, it's hard to love yourself unconditionally after you've been bred and programmed and installed to do differently. But it doesn't matter. Hey, morning. Hey, I like that. Don't fucking kill me. No, but seriously. Have an allowance to let everything happen in your life. Bring it on. Seriously. All the time. No matter what it is. But during it all, love yourself no matter what. And yeah, your energy of your soul is severe. It is. So when you tap into the energy of your own being, yeah, that's right. You just might become too much for many, just like I'm viewed as. But I don't give a shit how I'm viewed. I really don't. And yes, I am too much for many, because they want to stay stuck. Leave them there. It's all good. I allow everything and anything. And that's what I encourage you all to do today. Okay? And like I mentioned before, when people no longer serve a purpose for you, the universe allows them to fall to the side. Don't resist that. Don't restrict that. Allow it. If it's a job you woke up to today that's, I don't want to do this anymore, don't do it. If it's a relationship that doesn't make you feel good and you don't want to be in it, don't do it. You don't have to. You're not committed to anything but your own being. So get that right. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do, but have an allowance for learning. And that's key, no matter what you're doing. All right? Anyway, guys, I'm coming off of here. I said I want you guys all to set a high vibe. How do you do that? You be grateful. Be grateful for every single thing that's coming your way. Bring it on. Have an allowance. Allow everything and anything to happen. But stay still and watch. Because your learning is there. And as long as you're freaking out, and as long as you're judging, and as long as you're denying, and as long as you're blaming, you can't figure out the learning. And you will get caught in a recurring cycle over and over and over again until you get it right. So get it right for your own being. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to do that for yourself? Guys, you're loved unconditionally, infinitely. Okay, and that's what sources your soul and your experience of this life. Love yourself unconditionally, and you will work in alignment to your truest power. Simple. When you see a limit, get creative. When you see an obstacle, hey, it's time to learn. When you see a setback, yeah, it's supposed to happen. Because you've got to assess. You have to look at what you've been doing. Stop all the cruel talks towards yourself. Like I mentioned, I think it was yesterday, would you allow somebody to talk shit to you like that? No, so why would you talk to yourself like that? Speak highly of yourself. Set the standards for others. How do you do that? Well, you put yourself first. Simple. Set the standards. All right? And if they can't, like I mentioned too in one of the other lives, set your pace and go. Because once you set your pace and go, everything that is no longer of purpose in your life falls to the side. You don't have to worry about that stuff. And you don't have to worry about, oh, how are you going to do this and how are you going to do that? Nah. Get right with yourself. Tell yourself good things and speak highly of yourself all the time. Anyway, guys, have a great day. It's Tuesday. This week's going to breeze by. I got a lot of stuff to do. I'm working on another book. So that's what's going on. And, yeah. So, I love you all. Have a great day. Set a high vibe. How do you do that? Be grateful. But be open to learning. Okay? Seriously, because each and every single one of us could be a better being. It's not one person out here that can sit there and say, well, I'm better than another. No, you're not. Simple shit. I love you all. Get the most out of your experience. Allow everything and anything. But put yourself first and love yourself unconditionally and be loving in everything that you say and you do. And if you can't, take a look at why. Because that's on you. And that's not because of, what you've lived and what your mother did or what your father did or what your auntie did or what your uncle did or what your grandparents did. That's on you. Okay? Get it right. Have a great day, y'all. Love you. Peace.